I'm reading. I'm reading. I read. I read. I will read. I will read. Did you read? Did you read? I didn't read it. I didn't read it.
I am reading a book. I am reading a book.
I am reading the news. I am reading the news.
I read a comic book. I read a comic book.
I read my homework. I read my homework.
I will read the letter. I will read the letter.
I will read the text. I will read the text.
Did you read a Korean book? Did you read a Korean book?
Did you read the English book? Did you read the English book?
I don't read books. I don't read books.
I don't read comics. I don't read comics.
I'm reading my homework. I'm reading my homework.
I am reading a poem. I am reading a poem.
I read my sister's letter. I read my sister's letter.
I read a message. I read a message.
I will read a novel. I will read a novel.
I will read the Myanmar book. I will read the Myanmar book.
Did you read neighbor news? Did you read neighbor news?
Did you read the English book? Did you read the English book?
I don't read webtoons. I don't read webtoons.
I don't read a message. I don't read a message. I am reading a cooking book. I am reading a cooking book. We are reading comic book. We are reading comic book. They are reading poetry. They are reading poetry. He is reading a fiction book. He is reading a fiction book. She is reading a cooking book. She is reading a cooking book. We read magazine. We read magazine. He reads science fiction. He reads science fiction. She reads a book at home. She reads a book at home. I read the message yesterday. I read the message yesterday. Father read the newspaper yesterday. Father read the newspaper yesterday. Yoon-shi read a mystery book yesterday. Yoon-shi read a mystery book yesterday. I will read my textbook at 8 p.m. I will read my textbook at 8 p.m. We will read Korean grammar book. We will read Korean grammar book. He will read English book tomorrow. He will read English book tomorrow. Yura will read a fiction book. Yura will read a fiction book. I don't read thriller book. I don't read thriller book. They don't read a fiction book. They don't read a fiction book. He doesn't read the message. He doesn't read the message. She doesn't read poetry. She doesn't read poetry. I didn't read thriller book. I didn't read thriller book. Miho didn't read a fiction book. Miho didn't read a fiction book. We won't read the message. We won't read the message. Yuri won't read poetry. Yuri won't read poetry. Do you read thriller book? Do you read thriller book? Do they read a fiction book? Do they read a fiction book? Does he read the message? Does he read the message? Does she read poetry? Does she read poetry? Did they read thriller book? Did they read thriller book? Did Minho read a fiction book? Did Minho read a fiction book? Will you read the message? Will you read the message? Will you read poetry? Will you read poetry?
What are you reading? What are you reading?
I am reading a Korean book. I am reading a Korean book.
Did you read the news? Did you read the news?
No, I didn't read the news. No, I didn't read the news.
When are you going to read the manga? When are you going to read the manga?
I will read it tomorrow. I will read it tomorrow.
Did you read the letter I gave you? Did you read the letter I gave you?
No, I haven't read it yet. No, I haven't read it yet.